So have you ever really stopped and wondered how Apple became one of the most valuable companies on the entire planet? I mean, it's not just about selling cool phones, right? There's this brilliant self-reinforcing system at play. You could call it a money-making circle. Let's break down exactly how this incredible machine actually works.
Okay, just to get a sense of the scale we're talking about, look at this number, $416 billion. That was Apple's total revenue for the 2025 fiscal year. I mean, that's a figure so massive, it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around. But a number that big, it's no accident. It is absolutely the result of a powerful, deliberate strategy.
And that strategy is called the virtuous circle. So here's the big idea. Apple sells you a premium device, like an iPhone. But that device, it isn't just a one-time purchase. No. It's your entry ticket, your gateway into their entire world of super high-profit services. This whole combination creates this powerful loop that, honestly, kind of locks customers in and just keeps the revenue flowing.
So let's start at the very beginning of that circle. Because the journey into Apple's universe, it always begins with a physical product.
Now you might think with all the chatter about services, hardware is maybe becoming less important. But look at this. Devices like the iPhone and the Mac still bring in more than half of Apple's total revenue. It is by far the biggest slice of the pie. But here's the key thing to understand. For Apple, that hardware sale is just the beginning. It's the gateway, not the final destination.
That's right. I mean, think about it. Whether it's the iPhone in your pocket right now, the MacBook on your desk, or the watch on your wrist, that physical piece of hardware is the anchor for literally everything else. It's the key that unlocks the entire ecosystem. And get this, Apple is doubling down on this. Their strategy for 2026 is all about being premium first. What does that mean? It means focusing on their most expensive, most profitable devices. We're talking about things like a brand new foldable iPhone. They're even delaying some of their standard models, all to maximize the value of every single customer who buys one of their products.
All right, so you've bought the hardware. Now Apple gently steers you towards the second part of the circle, the services engine. And this, my friends, is where the real profit is made. This is where the strategy just clicks into place. Look, selling an iPhone is profitable, for sure. But check out this difference. For every dollar of hardware they sell, they pocket about 36 cents. But for every dollar of services, think about your iCloud subscription, they make a staggering 75 cents. It is more than double the profitability. It's just insane.
And this chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? That huge, massive gap between the hardware margin and the services margin, that is the secret sauce to Apple's financial power. It's not even the same business model, really. It's a completely different kind of business. The scale of this services engine is just immense. In 2025 alone, it generated $109 billion in revenue. To put that in perspective, Apple's services division all by itself would be one of the largest tech companies in the entire world.
And what are these services? Well, they're things you probably use every single day. It's the commission Apple takes from every purchase in the App Store, it's your iCloud storage subscription, it's your Apple Music plan, and it's the fees they get from Apple Pay. Each one of those is a recurring revenue stream tied directly to that device you bought.
Okay, so we've got the premium hardware and we've got the super profitable services. But what holds it all together? What's the strategic glue that makes this virtuous circle spin so darned effectively?
Well, it really comes down to three core pillars. First, their pretty unique approach to AI. Second, their famously seamless but very closed ecosystem. And third, something most people don't think about, their incredible control over the physical parts that make up their products.
So first up is AI. Apple Intelligence is designed to be deeply integrated and really privacy-focused. See, most of the processing happens directly on your device. Now, this makes the AI faster and way more personal, but here's the strategic part. It also means you need Apple's powerful hardware to get the best experience, which just strengthens that link between their hardware and their software.
The second pillar is often described with this one phrase, owning the consumer. This refers to Apple's famous walled garden, an ecosystem that is incredibly easy and delightful to use as long as you stay within its walls.
And this is what that seamless experience actually looks like in real life. You can start typing a message on your iPhone, instantly pick it up on your Mac, and maybe even continue your workflow on a Vision Pro without a single hiccup. It's so convenient that leaving the ecosystem starts to feel, well, really difficult. And that's the lock-in effect.
All right, the final pillar is something most of us never even see, but it is absolutely fundamental to Apple's success: their complete mastery over their global supply chain.
Apple does this in two really key ways. First, they design their own custom chips. You've heard of them, the A series in iPhones and the M series in Macs. Because they control both the chip and the software, they can optimize them to work together perfectly. This creates a level of speed and efficiency that's incredibly hard for competitors to replicate. Second, they use their enormous pile of cash to lock in deals for key components, protecting themselves from the global shortages that can cripple their rivals.
And the results of this whole strategy are just staggering. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, Apple pulled in nearly $144 billion in revenue, and they now have over 2.5 billion active devices out there in the world, every single one a potential gateway into that high-profit services engine.
So what's next for this incredible business model? Well, you can bet Apple isn't standing still. They are actively, right now, looking for new ways to expand the circle.
In 2026, they are pushing aggressively into whole new categories. Think about smart home devices, like cameras and hubs, and maybe even AI-powered smart glasses. Each new product category is just another potential gateway into the ecosystem.
When you boil it all down, the ultimate goal of all this expansion is pretty simple. It's to integrate Apple more and more deeply into every single aspect of our lives, pulling more of what we do into their seamless, profitable, and ever-expanding universe.
Which really leaves us with a final, pretty thought-provoking question, right? When you buy an iPhone today, are you really just buying a piece of hardware? Or is that device now effectively just the price of admission, the subscription fee to get into the entire Apple universe?